have to spray it.
Hi there and welcome to the channel. My name's Keith Mason and I offer tips and tricks and ideas and hopefully some inspiration that may help you as you try and improve your photography. This week I've been working with a musical theatre company as they bring a performance of a show called The Wedding Singer to stage, and I've been involved in shooting some pictures at their rehearsals in their studios.
I'm getting chills when they tell me you're not yourself. Trying to move, but it's hard, I'm out of breath.
I was able to photograph the tech run of the show, and I photographed the dress rehearsal and a couple of the performances. So for this show I've been using my Fuji X-T3 and my Fuji X-T20 and I've been using three different lenses. I've been using the 35mm 1.4 lens, which I haven't used a great deal. I've been using the 18-55 lens, which has been really good to be able to zoom out and get the breadth of the stage, but then also to zoom in and capture groups of 2 or 3 actors together. And I've been using the 55-200, which to me has been a revelation. It's been so good to be able to stand halfway back in the theatre and just zoom in to anywhere on the stage, and the pictures are tack sharp, so it's really good. In terms of setting, I've done a video about setting up for theatre shoots before, but the settings that I'm using exclusively on this shoot are ISO 6400. I've set the shutter speed to 250, 1/250th of a second, and I'm using the aperture to adjust for exposure. I've got spot metering on the camera so that you're focusing in on a particular actor, so that it's taking the meter reading off of the main subject. But sometimes where you have an actor with a white shirt or something, it tends to overexpose, so I'm using the aperture to adjust for that. I'm using the face eye detection for autofocus, so and I found that to be really effective. When I've been doing theatre work in the past and using my Canon 5D Mark II, the autofocus just really didn't have that eye autofocus, so you were having to work much harder. Here, being able to capture sharp images have been so much easier. A couple of times I've used high-speed burst mode for capturing actors when they're jumping or twisting or turning or doing a particular dance move, and that's really helped, so you've got 3 or 4 pictures that you can pick the best one. So I'm going to head back in and take some more shots at the current performance. So over 2 nights I was able to shoot the dress rehearsal and the first performance, and as you can see here I've shot something over 2,000 shots over the 2 nights, and obviously not all of those are going to be great shots, so I'm going to walk you through the workflow that I have in terms of trying to deal with this volume of pictures, and I'm trying to edit these pictures as quickly as possible so that I can share them back with the cast members, but also the family, and also with the theatre company, so they can use these pictures for promotion. So we need to turn those around as quickly as possible. So the first thing that I do as I edit these pictures is I do a first run through and just put a star rating against a picture that I think I might want to edit further, and I do that as quickly as possible, and probably that cuts 1,000 pictures down to about 300, maybe 400. Now, not all of those are going to make final edits, but it gives me an idea about what I'm trying to shoot. And because I've taken the same show on 2 different nights, the dress rehearsal and the first performance. I'm shooting the same scenes, and I'm going to make a final decision about what are the best pictures from each of the scenes. So once I've done the selection of photos, I'm using filters here in Lightroom. So I'm going to switch the filters on and going to select all of those that I put a star rating to. And I've only just put a 1 star against pretty much all of them, just because I want to make a quick edit through. So I've spoken before on this channel about presets, and I have in Lightroom lots and lots of presets which I can work through to decide what I might want to do for a particular image. It might look good with a sort of pastel shade, it might look good in black and white. But for this company, for this musical theatre company, I've developed a bunch of presets which I work exclusively with them. And this year I've also done the same thing, so which I'm calling Nutcracker because it's based on an earlier version. And once I've applied the preset, you can see that I bring the highlights and the whites down, I bring the shadows up, the blacks are kept about the same. I generally bring the exposure up because I tend to shoot underexposed, because often on stage you'll find that a lot of the stage is dark, but the main actors will have a spotlight on them, and that tends to blow out the highlights. So I'm bringing up the exposure, and the other thing that I've got in here, I've got a little bit of clarity. And although I was principally shooting with Fuji, my Fuji X-T3 and X-T20, I did also take along my Canon 5D Mark II, and so the preset that I developed didn't adjust for sharpening and noise reduction. The Fuji cameras really shouldn't have any sharpening done in Lightroom, because it creates worming artifacts which are really unattractive when you zoom into the picture. So what I've also done this time is I've created a little preset which just removes the sharpening in the picture. So here you can see we've got sharpening applied in this preset that I talked about, this Stageworks Nutcracker 2022. But now I've just got this simple preset that I hit, and that takes the sharpening out and sets the noise reduction. So in the library, once I've selected all of the star rated pictures, I want to go on to the ones that I haven't edited yet. Now, because I shot the dress rehearsal, I stayed up late the night of the dress rehearsal, and I edited a bunch of them so that I could share them back with the cast and crew the next morning. So now what I want to do is I want to apply the preset that I've developed for this show to all of the pictures that I haven't currently edited. And in the filters, you've got 2 options here. One, which is to select pictures that you have made edits on, and this one here, which is pictures that you haven't made any edits on at all. And currently you can see I've got 465 pictures of the 2 nights that I shot, and by hitting that it brings me about down to 282 pictures that I haven't made any edits on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first one, go into develop mode, and I'm going to apply the preset that I've got for this show, and also to remove the sharpening, and I can edit them en masse. If I right click on the picture and say copy settings, I'm going to take all of the edits with the exception of crop and straighten angle, say copy, and then I am going to select all of the pictures here and then press sync, and that is going to apply that preset and the sharpening or the non-sharpening preset to all of those pictures. So now I can run through these pictures and make final adjustments, which will largely be around minor changes on white balance and minor changes on exposure. And you can see that it's pasting those settings all the way through those 282 pictures. And once it's done that, if I pick one at random and look at the develop module, you can see those settings have been applied. So that's a nice little tip that, if you don't know, can really help when you're editing large volumes of photos. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. It really makes a big difference to the channel. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.
I'm getting chills when they tell me you're not yourself. Trying to move, but it's hard, I'm out of